Welcome to this video that's going to be all about the system of breathing. Now, the system of breath is one that is really interesting, and it's one of only two systems in the body that we can both control and is going to happen automatically. The other is blinking, and so it's happening automatically. We don't need to think about it. When we wake up in the morning, we don't need to turn on the breath button, it's there. So what do I want you to know about the breath? Well, I want you to know that the breath is really important because it is what keeps us animated. It is what keeps things moving. Without the breath, there's no movement, there's stagnation. According to Ayurveda, all problems begin when there is stagnation. And for us who are going through Dinacharya Live for mental health or low mood or anxiety, what has happened is that we've become stuck in a particular pattern. So breath is a way to break the pattern, to move ourselves. And so it's a really important aspect of our healing journey. Now, inflammation is something else that you might be here for, to work to reduce the inflammation, to get out of autoimmune systemic problems. When inflammation happens, it's because there's a buildup of tension that's happening, creating the pain response. The breath is what is working with the nervous system to kind of cool things down. It's like putting a fan into a hot room. So let's talk a little bit around how the breath actually works, what is the musculature and the mechanics behind breathing, and how can just doing a few sun salutations can help to shift your energy and get you out of that place where you feel stuck, you feel like there's no way forward, and into a new way of being. The diaphragm, which is just below your rib cage, is a big muscle. When it drops down, you breathe in, so it creates a pressurized chamber, so the breath is pulled in. And when you're breathing out, this muscle is released, much like a jellyfish, kind of coming up, and the breath comes out of the nose or out of the mouth. So when we breathe in, there's a pressurizing of the diaphragm down, and when we breathe out, the diaphragm kind of bobs back up to the surface and breath is released out. You can see how doing some half sun salutations from yoga can really help to regulate the breath. So ideally what we want is a regulated inhale and a regulated exhale. When the inhales are too much, or there's too much inhale happening, it creates a feeling of anxiety. When the exhale is too long, too heavy, too out of balance with the inhale, we're going to feel that depressed, depleted place. So we want to have an equal inhale and an equal exhale, and more than anything, having this beautiful movement of the diaphragm moving up and down, giving the organs as well a nice squeeze every time it moves, releasing back pain, relieving kidney pain, relieving tension in the belly. So, coming back to how yoga and a few sun salutations can really shift your mood from the more physiological point of view, is when we do a sun salutation, we start by breathing in and we bring the arms up overhead. We're helping the diaphragm to release down. So the arms go up, but the diaphragm goes down as you breathe in. So we're helping the inhale. The next thing to happen in a sun salutation is you fold forward and you lean over yourself. There, the diaphragm's coming up, and because we're inverted, we're actually helping more of that stagnant air that's at the bottom of the lungs, right, we never really get rid of. We're helping it out because we're in the forward fold. When we come up halfway, and we hold the breath, we're actually strengthening the musculature around the diaphragm, creating a strong muscle for us. And then we exhale again when we fold back down, again, releasing that kind of what I call like the emergency little reserve of exhale. We want to get that all out. And then when we breathe back in and bring the arms around, we have a fuller breath in. And then we often end with the hands back at the heart center. That way the breath just re-regulates it. The yogis were absolute geniuses in studying the breath and studying how different breathing techniques can shift your mood, shift the nervous system. The breath, and they would say the pranayama, meaning the control, yama means control of the prana. The prana is the electromagnetic particles that ride on the oxygen. The controlling of the prana is what is shifting our mood, shifting us if we're too anxious and hyper into a more balanced place, if we're too depressed and low into a more balanced place, and more than anything, not in a place of stagnation. It works on the physical level, it's working on the emotional level, and it's also working on the spiritual level, because the breath that you have is the divine. It is not connected to color, taste, smell, anything. You don't choose when you get it. You don't choose when you don't get it anymore. It is your life. It is everything. And when we are moving and consciously breathing and being grateful for the breath that we have, we are practicing yoga. Yoga meaning connection with our divine selves. And being happy and grateful that even though your circumstances may be challenging at the moment, that you are still alive, you still have a purpose, and when you have the breath, it means that you are needed in this world. So let's take a moment to do a very quick practice just to tune in to the two directions that the breath goes in. And this creates a beautiful pulsation that we call spanda, like an orb that is not just pulsing left to right and up and down, but all radiant out and back in. So find a comfortable seat, and the first thing I'm going to get you to do is just relax your hands and have them gently soften, so you're not rigid with your hands, soft fingers, maybe closing your eyes or gazing at me just gently. And we're going to breathe through the nose in a way that is controlled and a little slower, and controlled on the inhale and the exhale. So I want you to breathe in, and your hands are mirroring what's happening with your rib cage, and breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. And do one more. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now, not only is your waist going side to side, expanding out, also what's happening is the diaphragm is dropping down and releasing back up. So we're going to do it this way as well. So just let your hands hover in front of the heart center, and then breathe in and breathe out. And doing this with your hands gives you a more visceral experience of what's happening on the inside. Do one more. And then just take your hands onto your chest. Now see if you can imagine feeling not just the left to right side, but the up and down as well. The expansion out and then back in. Let's do 3 breaths together. Breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. Bring your palms together and have a gentle smile. Even if you're not feeling that upbeat, just gently smile. Lifting the corners of your mouth. Lifts the heart. And perhaps this breathing has let you find a little bit more faith. Drop your chin, let your eyes open. Thank you for listening, and as you're practicing your movement, please remember to breathe consciously with gratitude, and that divine breath is going to lead you and help you as we move through the other habits. Thanks for listening.